I have the honor of introducing the commander of the VFW Post 3452, Ron Holland.
Thank you. As post commander, I'd like to order post colors. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
Left, right. Forward, march.
I'd like to introduce the, you may all be seated. I'd like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies, the Mayor of Tualatin, Lou Ogden.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you to the community of Tualatin for coming out and supporting such a tremendous event. You know, normally when you have an event like this and you begin to introduce people, folks begin to stretch and yawn and say, when will this part be over? But you know what? This is a gathering of this community. This is a gathering of a lot of people who put a lot of heart and soul into a tremendous event. So we're going to relish and take the time to introduce a number of folks that are here today. And first of all, again, as Ron said, I'm Lou Ogden. I'm pleased and honored to serve as the mayor of Tualatin. But the exciting part about that is being able to just sort of participate in these kinds of events. And this is certainly a shining event, and really sort of a capstone in our community as we talk about this today. In introducing folks, first of all, our very honored guests, and really sort of the focus of the celebration today, the Lembke family, Mr. Dale, Claudia, and Carolyn. Thank you so much for being here, and right in the front row, of course. Round of applause for the Lembke. There'll be a lot said about Corporal Lembke this morning, but I will tell you that in addition to the tribute to Matthew and the tribute to all the veterans, it really is a tribute to this community for the way this community has reached out, embraced, and held up Matt Lembke for who he was and what he stood for, but more importantly, for this great nation. And this great nation goes all the way down to what we refer to as grassroots, and that's all of us who live here. So again, thank you to the community for really standing up for what's really important in this world. So with that, let me just, as we enjoy our mass transit coming through town, let me begin by introducing, or actually acknowledging, and we'll have further introduction later. And you just, if you would, just stand and wave when I raise your name, when I read your name, please. Paul Evans, who's the governor's policy advisor for military and veteran affairs and emergency preparedness. Paul. And I haven't seen Paula. Is Paula Brown here? Paula Brown is not here this morning. We have with us Majority Leader Richard Devlin. Thank you, Richard, for your years of service. And next to him is Representative Scott Brune, representing Tualatin and West Lynn. Thank you, entering his fourth term as a state representative in this district. Our county commissioners are all in a retreat all day long today. Started at 8 o'clock this morning. So Commissioner Chair Tom Bryan and Roy Rogers send their regrets, but are very appreciative of this event today. And then the Tualatin Valley VFW serves not just Tualatin. We're proud to have it as the namesake. In fact, they bring honor to our community once again. On the front page of the Oregonian, this event, and it talks about the Tualatin VFW. But you know what? This is the VFW that serves not only Tualatin, but Sherwood and Tigard and Wilsonville and Westland and Lake Oswego and surrounding unincorporated areas. And so we're proud to have and honored to have with us most of the mayors from the surrounding area. We have Mayor Craig Dirksen from Tigard. Where's Craig at? Craig and I have a reversal of role today. I've never seen Craig without a tie. Craig's never seen me with a tie. Mayor Gary Sherrado from Durham. Jerry. And Keith Mays, a mayor from Sherwood. Ron Shea, mayor from King City. And Jack Hoffman sends his regrets. He was tied up this morning, mayor of Lake Oswego. Also, our Tualatin City Council. I saw Donna Maddox this morning. City Councilor Donna Maddox. I don't know, there were a couple of the councilors who had it on their schedule, but if you're here, raise your hand. Our city manager, Sherilyn Lombos. Sherilyn here this morning. And you know, you normally wouldn't go down every single city employee, but there are a couple people particularly who have worked, a lot of people who have worked hard on this, but a couple people who have been instrumental from a city staff standpoint. Our Community Development Director, Doug Rux, and our city engineer, Mike McKillop. These two guys have worked hand in hand with David Imami and the others in making this building fruition. And a whole host of other people. And I mentioned David Imami, but David Imami, David, his wife Diana, his two sons, Austin and Alan. You guys stand up, wave. David and Diana will also be more formally recognized later, but a real tribute to a family who have spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy in the city of Tualatin building this community from a commercial standpoint, and who stepped up at an extremely precarious time to, in essence, save the building that is now the home of the hall. And I remember it wasn't maybe 18 months ago, I have a picture on my desk on the other side of this building, right? The pleasure to preside over the groundbreaking, or the brick breaking, if you will, of this facility. So we come full circle. Thank you, Dale. We have a very honored guest today who will be further recognized. Bob Maxwell. Is Bob? Where's Bob? Right here. Bob, stand up. Bob Maxwell and his wife, who live in Penn, is a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, the only Medal of Honor recipient in the state of Oregon from a World War II incident. I'm sorry, Civil War. Great story if you get a chance to talk to a very humble man who did what he says anyone in this situation would do, and I would beg to argue that hopefully very few people are ever in that situation, and not everyone has the reflexes of a hero. But Ms. Maxwell, thank you for being here. We have members of the Band of Brothers. They were here last night. Are they still here? Steve? Dave? Where's Dave at? Dave, stand up, would you please? And your wife and daughters.
Bill Butchie here?
No, he left.
Okay.
He left. Yeah.
These folks are called the Band of Brothers. The Troyers lost a son in Afghanistan in 2005. Is that in Iraq? 2005. These folks have joined together to support, to recognize, and to honor the families of young men and women in our general area who lost family, who have lost soldiers in battle, and had a very touching evening last night. Thanks to these folks presenting some medallions that you can read about in the front page of the Oregonian, to the Lembke family, recognizing that. So thank you for all you do in supporting the families of those killed in action. Thank you very much for being there. There's some people I haven't met for sure, so Staff Sergeant Jay Ashland, the Marine Rep. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Sergeant, representing the Marines. The turnout today, you see, is also largely supported by the Tualatin Chamber of Commerce. And, you know, the VFW here in Tualatin is more than just a facility for veterans. It's more than just a facility, though they do so much to support veterans and the families of veterans and the families of active duty folks. But in the last several years, the VFW has become an integral part of this community, serving as a bona fide business entity, if you will, participate heavily in the Chamber of Commerce. And Dale Potts and others have continually brought the Chamber into a constant awareness of the importance of patriotism, the importance of recognizing the families and the active and the reserves and so on. And so we don't just look at the VFW as another support group or another community fabric component, though they are. They're truly part of our community like any other business, and they're very active in the Chamber. And so the Chamber, of course, appreciates that and reciprocates. We have a number of Chamber members here today, including the Chamber President, Bob Dye. And Bob, stand up if you would. Notice he's not wearing a tie. I've not seen that before either. In fact, Bob Dye served time not in Iraq, but in the dunk tank at the Crawfish Festival in a full suit and tie, raising money for the VFW. So thank you, Bob. We also have our Chamber Chief Executive Officer, Linda Moholt, and Linda is everywhere. Thank you for being here, Linda. Other members of the Chamber Board of Directors, businesses are here. And again, thank you to all of those who support that. I also notice we have folks from our Historical Society, Heritage Center, Joyce Martinez, Larry, others, Norm. I don't see Larry, but I see Norm. Thank you for coming. I've noticed, thank you, yes, the Heritage Center. I noticed on my list is community newspapers. Is Steve Clark or Christine Moore here? Christine, where's Christine? There you are, flag there. Christine on the Chamber Board of Directors, and again, the newspaper does more than report the news. The community newspapers are again an integral part of supporting this community, fundraising, putting in energy. Christine serves on the Chamber Board, and again, thank you for being here. Now, the important folks, the folks from the VFW, I want to introduce Tom Lang, who's the National Vice Chair for Military Services. Did I get that right, Tom? Thank you for coming, sir. And Jared Pittman is the State Commander. Thank you, Jared. We also have our Auxiliary President, and I forgot your name because you had your name tag covered up. Tell me again. Carol, please stand up. Thank you for coming. I believe that's all I have for the moment. I'd like to now turn the podium over to the Governor's Representative, Frank Evans, Governor's Policy Advisor for Veteran Affairs, Military and Emergency Preparedness. But it's actually Paul, it says Frank here, but I introduced Paul earlier. Paul is still Paul. Thank you for coming, Paul.
I have a cold, so I'm going to try to make this as loud as it can be. Can you hear me there? First of all, thank you, Lembke family. The governor was not able to be here today. He actually took time to write a couple of drafts of this letter to try to get it right. There's a copy for you and a copy for VFW Hall. And Mr. Maxwell, it's always an honor to be in your presence. So thank you for this work. Okay. I'll just hold it up here. To the Tualatin VFW Major Alex Rassman Post and Auxiliary 3452, naming of new home post to honor Marine Corporal Matthew Lembke. Today, as the Tualatin Valley VFW Post and Auxiliary 3452 is naming its new home post for Marine Corporal Matthew R. Lembke. I wish to express my appreciation as you help honor this outstanding Oregonian. Corporal Lembke died July 10th of wounds sustained from an improvised explosive device in the Helmand province of Afghanistan on June 24th during his third tour of duty. He was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force, Canada Bay, Hawaii. Corporal Lembke was a popular 2005 graduate of Tualatin High School, where he played varsity football and was fondly known by the nickname Lumpy, given by his football coach. After graduation, he joined the Marine Corps while on patrol in the Taliban heavy region of the Helmand province. He stepped on an IED on June 24, 2009, causing him to lose both legs. He died from an infection on July 10th at age 22 while being treated at the Bethesda Naval Hospital. He was the 115th military member with ties to Oregon to sacrifice while serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was one of 47 international troops to die in July, the deadliest month since 2009. Today's dedication of Corporal Matthew Lembke Hall is to honor Matthew for making the ultimate sacrifice. Because he was widely known in the community, the naming of the hall for Corporal Lembke will help remind people of the many sacrifices made by U.S. military personnel, soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines around the world. Matthew was a dedicated soldier and served his country with pride, honor, and courage. He will be forever remembered by friends and family as his sacrifice for our nation will never be forgotten. Governor Kungaski also wanted to make sure that people, especially the Lembke family, understands from one Marine Corporal to another. He sincerely appreciates what your family has done and that that will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. I'd like to invite the Lembke family up to the podium. And as they make their way up, I would like to again introduce Marine Staff Sergeant J.C. Ashland, who will present the family with an honorary certificate in memory of Corporal Lembke from the City Council of Honolulu.
Matthew R. Lembke, who with his family lived in Tualatin, Oregon since 1991, has raised with his sister in the outdoors Oregon state, camping, fishing, hunting, and crabbing. Affectionately known as Lumpy, Matthew graduated in 2005 from the Tualatin High School, where the 6'2", 214-pound defensive end was a favorite on the Timberwolves football team. Since middle school, Matthew talked about joining the military. By age 17, he decided on the Marines and enlisted with 3 days of his 18th birthday. Corporal Matthew Lembke was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force at Kauana Bay, Hawaii. Deployed twice before to Iraq, Corporal Lembke served as a squad leader and later as a sniper. On May 10, 2009, he joined 1,000 Marines and sailors from Kauana Bay from his 3rd tour of duty in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. This is a difficult time for our soldiers and their families. It is a constant reminder of the dangers that our servicemen and women still face as they sacrifice their time and sometimes their life to protect and defend our freedom. We stand in strong support behind our troops and continue to back them in every way. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Corporal Lembke's family, especially his mother Claudia, Father Dale, and sister Caroline. We hope it may provide them with some strength to know that the people of Honolulu mourn with them. Therefore, on behalf of the people of the City and County of Honolulu, the City Council hereby honors and commends the memory of United States Marine Corporal Matthew R. Lembke, who has made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty and is in the service of our country. City Council of Honolulu, Hawaii.
I wanted to add just a couple things relative to the acknowledgement from the City Council in Honolulu. Last evening we had a small reception for the Lembke family, mostly to have an opportunity for the band of brothers to present medallions to the family bearing Matt's name, description. And I just alluded to that briefly again with Dave Troyer, but the band of brothers actually have done that for 107 families of soldiers who were killed in action here in Oregon. And in fact, they began that with a display in Salem at a war memorial there. And so it was a very touching event. And I know that the Lembke family is very appreciative of the efforts of the band of brothers, but those medallions are very special. And in addition to that, there were some other medals and certificate awarded or given to the family from the Marine Corps. And so again, sort of just a celebration of that service. I wanted to add too that, and I didn't bring with you today, but we gave to the family actually previously a recognition from the Tualatin City Council on the City Council night of, I believe, July 23rd. We did adjourn our meeting in honor of Corporal Lembke, and there were some comments that were given at the City Council meeting that are part of the public record. In fact, they need to be streamed on the internet. But again, recognizing the sacrifice of Corporal Lembke and the recognition of this community's support, and thank you to the family and our sharing in your loss and our appreciation for your gift to us. I also mentioned that part of that evening last night was recognizing Bob Maxwell, and again, just want to acknowledge his presence. And I'm not very good at following directions, but that sort of follows that portion of the scheduled events. Finally, I'd like to then turn the podium over again to Commander Ron, who will talk a little bit about the naming process for the hall and have some special awards to give here to the very, very first Patriot Award in this hall. So again, Ron.
Hard act to follow. I just wanted to mention that one of the things that came up was that unfortunately this situation with Matthew happened at about a time that we were moving, getting ready to move out of our old hall, which used to be called Patriot Hall. And when we decided we just needed to do something for Matthew, the membership decided that naming our hall after Matthew would be the way to go. And David and Mommy didn't waste any time getting the sign up in the window as soon as we told them that we voted. And that's how that came about. But it's also representative of all the local soldiers that have given their time and service to this country. Also, we know that all servicemen, they give some, but some gave all, and that's representative. We want to make this building a place where local vets can come. We have a situation where in this nationally, anywhere from 50 to 80% of the vets returning from Iraq and Afghanistan have got mental problems, PTSD, other problems that they need, and that's what we need to do as us older vets and vets in the community need to do is to help them find the assistance they need and the services they need. And that's what we will be dedicating our building to, is helping veterans. We will be holding, we're going to try to hold free seminars on getting jobs, college education, how to help with physical and mental health. We've already contacted a lot of veterans assistant programs from Washington County, the state, and they'll be using our facility also for meetings and helping the vets. We also, I'd like to announce that we've had some interest and we're hoping to follow through on forming a men's auxiliary. I'm sure you all heard of the women's auxiliary. The men's auxiliary is pretty much the same thing. We find a lot of people out there who have lost loved ones, brothers, fathers, spouses, and anyone that's by virtue of having a grandchild, child, sibling, spouse, parent, grandparent who served in a qualifying war zone will be eligible to be in the VFW auxiliary. This is hopefully one way that these people, the people who join the auxiliary, can see they can help our returning veterans also. We need 40 members to start a men's auxiliary. I think I see a few out here right now that are interested. And Pat Maudlin, she's the president of the Women's Auxiliary, and she'll answer any questions there is about applying for membership. We also, in order to fund this building, we're going to have to, unfortunately, rent out the building. So if you know of any organizations or companies that they would like to rent our facilities, Gerald Gleason, his name's over here on the window. We have a contact list. Be sure to notify him, and he'll handle all the rentals. We'll also have to be doing some fundraising. Unfortunately, when you see the inside, the furnishings, everything we've done has depleted our funding. And we cannot use our poppy sales or our veterans funding for our hall. So we will have to have some kind of fundraising, and so you'd be looking forward to maybe giving us some ideas on how we can raise some funds. Right now, I'd like to call David Amami and Diana Amami for the award of the first annual VFW American Patriot Award. This award is an award that we decided that it's going to be an annual award we're going to be giving to citizens that have really contributed to the community. David and Diane have not only contributed financially, but they have supported us through this whole operation of getting into our new hall. They have gone way above what anybody would expect them to do. And they've also been very instrumental within the community on other things, and I can't even name them all. But I would like to present them with this award. Give them each a plaque. We'll have a plaque hung inside our building. And each year from now on, we will have one. If anybody has any suggestions, or they know of somebody that's deserving of this award, we appreciate to hear from you. David, I don't know if anybody knows this, but David is a veteran. Unfortunately, he's not an American veteran, but he is a good veteran, and he recognizes veterans throughout the world. He's a veteran of the Iranian Army, and he has really supported veterans' issues and supporting us. He will be welcome in our club.
Well, I was writing quite a bit to read for you, and I'm just going to be myself, if you allow me. This is my wonderful wife, my 2 kids. We're very proud to be here today. Honestly, when I was moving this building 32 feet back, I never thought that we're going to do that for Matthew. And I'm so proud that this served the right purpose. We are very proud to call the hall after Matthew. He's like my own son. I just feel that way. I have 2 sons, and hopefully they take over what I will leave unfinished and do the best for their country. I believe that it is important for our children to learn, understand that it's all about helping others and be proud of your country and do what you can do for your country, and don't always ask what country can do for you. This is my always lesson to my children. Every night I tell them that you have to be a great citizen. Get up in the morning, do good, and be proud of what you do. And Lembke, apologize to not being able to do more than that for you. I cannot bring Matthew back to you, but I tell you, his name is always going to be here. We're proud of him. We are going to put a permanent bronze plaque on the building. This is what we're written in the glass is just temporary, and we're proud to have him be seen every day by 30,000 people, and be remembered forever, for lifetime. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to add a couple of things. First of all, I've known David Imami for 18 years, I guess, since I've been involved with the City Council. And so much of what you see in downtown Tualatin is David has built. More importantly, what you're going to see in the future with respect to the rest of this block, Robertson Crossing too, and eventually all the way down to Tualatin Sherwood Road, will be what David and Diana create for the city of Tualatin. So it's just a tremendous investment. David has been a big part of this community. And I will tell you that as in any business relationship, as in any family relationship, as in any service organization or fraternal organization, you spend enough time with each other, you have your happy moments, you have your working moments. And I told Diana that many times working with David in the city has been like on a dog sled team, you know. Oftentimes we bark at each other, but we're always pulled the sled in the same direction. And so again, we appreciate all that you do, Diana, for being a big part of the team. And Alan and Austin, you got some big shoes to follow, but I know you're up to the task. I also want to mention, again, a little bit about the VFW, and I alluded to it earlier about their involvement. But actually, we go back to David and the Historical Society just for a moment, because the spotlight is on Corporal Lembke and on the VFW. But think about this building for a second, and it's no secret that this building was on death row, and the City Council and the Commission had decided to take the building down, to move the building to create the right-of-way here. And not an easy decision, but from the financial decision, quite honestly, from the standpoint of the fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers, and the cost of the building and moving the building, and what we were told really that the building couldn't be moved certainly effectively. There was a grassroots effort. Don't let anybody ever tell you that your voice doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in the majority. It doesn't matter if everyone agrees with you or if no one agrees with you. If you have something you believe in, pursue your heart. And even if you've got the mayor and the city council telling you that it's the wrong thing to do, you believe it, do it anyway. Bibiana McHugh, others from the Historical Society said there's something wrong with this. So they spent effort. They actually, and I will tell you again, the dogs and the dog sled barking at each other wasn't fun. But they spent effort. They actually pursued some of their legal capability and held things up long enough until someone came along and said, I think I can do this. And David Imami stepped up, I won't say out of nowhere, but certainly not as part of that discussion, and said, I think I can move that building. I have technical expertise, I have people that say it can be done. And we said, you know what, if you could do that, that would be a miracle. And he picked it up and he moved. So again, thank you to David, thank you to the Historical Society, those who exercise their American rights that Corporal Lembke fought and died for, that the civil liberties and that process is alive and well in Tualatin. Just a couple other people. The VFW, I got our buddy Poppy's on today. 15 years ago, Al Turner and others would come to the city council meeting once a year during Buddy Poppy Week, and hand out the poppies and talk a little bit about the VFW. There's sort of a quiet presence in the VFW. A few years later, Dale Potts came on the scene, as I said earlier, got the VFW involved in the chamber. Bill Phillips, where's Bill? Bill Phillips was here earlier, previous commander of the post here in Tualatin, and simultaneously was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, really brought the VFW front and center to being a community participant. I'll just recall a couple of other events. I guess it was 2000, maybe 2001, Dale. Dale came to the city and said there's an engineering company in Desert Storm from this area, the 671st. They've been in the desert for 40 days, literally, without any facilities of changing clothes and that sort of thing. They were going to be relieved and come home, and wanted the city of Tualatin in this post to adopt that group. We said, gosh, what can we do? We didn't do much. Dale and the VFW did a lot. We had a hero's welcome for that company. We had a parade in Tualatin. We had the general come up from Arizona. And I'd say we, because here again, like today, I got to be part of that and say a few words, but it was the VFW and the community made that happen. That was a tremendous event. And just the litany goes on and on. So there's a new chapter hopefully unfolding with the VFW post here in Tualatin, and that's the men's auxiliary. Now, we mentioned the ladies' auxiliary, so what in the world is the men's auxiliary? Do they quilt? Do they make pies? Do they build birdhouses? I'm not sure. But they have to have a connection to a veteran in family member. And so I believe, sort of like starting a new Rotary Club, you have to have a critical mass of 40, I believe, with his Army stories and the stories of his Army buddies. I'd like to be the first one to sign my name on the men's auxiliary sign-up list, so if there's a place to do that, and invite anyone else that has a connection, a family connection, or whatever the other criteria are to a veteran, family, familial connection to a veteran. So spread the word, and as soon as we get 40, we'll have a men's auxiliary. think I've said enough. Well, David and Mommy's got nothing on me. Can I make one more announcement? I got the mic. These things don't just happen. VFW put a lot of work into it. They were a very nice program. I invite you to look at the back of the program. And on the back of the program, you see a number of people who have contributed to this event in various ways. And there is no order of priority or ranking, but I have to call attention to Dave Dalton, Dave and Jan Dalton. But David does Dalton's catering, Dalton's Northwest Catering. He's just starting out in this business. I think he's probably 27 to 28 years in the catering business, after owning a couple restaurants more, he says. I tell you, the Daltons have been tremendous contributors to the community, but when Dave heard about this, the first thing he did, he says, I'll cater. I'll do it for you. And so you're going to see a nice display of David's work this morning, and then at the reception tonight, I'll invite you back for that. So thanks, David, for stepping up immediately to offer that. Comfort Inn and Suites provided rooms for Bob Maxwell, and I believe for the Lembke family from out of town, kind of funeral this one night, or some they offered it, okay. But so thank you to Comfort Inn. Wine Styles is hosting tonight. Jerry, thank you. Stag Hollow Coffee Company, I don't know if Dave is here. Dave, thank you, Dave. Graphic Expressions, doing the printing is Mike Moore here. Big screen presentations. We had the audio much needed here this morning. Daniel Payne, photography. Daniel is going to be staying on a ladder somewhere with a shutter. Oh, there he is, sitting down, holding the shutter. I mentioned the Chamber of Commerce. Dodie Starbuck, your style design. Thank you, Dodie. And Mallard Machines moved here with the flag. Of course, the Oregon National Guard, the Mommies, Walden Chamber of Commerce, City of Walden. We're just proud to be a part of it. And of course, your dedication members of the VFW. So with that, is it time to move to a ribbon? No, not yet.
We're going to set up the ribbon after we withdraw colors. And I would like to make one more comment. The people who work the hardest in this have been forgotten, and that's the members of this VFW. We've got so much support from the membership since we started this project. And Bill Phillips put together this along with Dale. And this ceremony here and the way that you'll see the furniture, everything up there was done by the membership of this VFW. And they've come through with flying colors. So please thank them all. We are going to be setting up for the ribbon cutting in just a minute. We need to, we're going to have the striking of the colors, and then we'd like to have help loading all the chairs back into the truck so we can open up the streetway. Okay. Color guard post. seating limit, capacity limit of 68 people. So we may have to take a little time. People that want to get some food, come out and sit at the tables or something or walk up through.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about Marshall. Over to the ribbon cutting, I'd like to invite the Lembke family. I'd like to invite Senator Devlin, Representative Broom, Mayors Dirksen, Mayor Shea, Mayor Mays, to join me and the VFW folks. The ribbon cutting will be right about in front. And Bob Maxwell, of course. Please join us.
Right here, okay, right behind you.
Guys, you come forward. You boys come forward. There we go. Yeah. They're going to be right up in front. No, right. How does that look, Leo? We got everybody? Are we looking good? Okay. There you go.
Right up front.
Okay, Dale, are you ready for him?
You sure? We'd like the Carolyn and Claudia and Dave, if you would cut real slow so people can take pictures. Put two of you together. It takes two people anyway.
Yeah, you have to pose the ribbon open for the longest period of time.
So we need to put Carolyn, maybe Carolyn on this side over here. Come over to this side.
Pull the ribbon tight.
Once you snip it, you can't grab it.
I want to get the mommies up more front, so maybe we can scoop some people around. So I want to see the boys. Can we get the boys up here? There we go. David? There. Beautiful.
Ready for the big.
Okay, are we ready? Everybody, big smiles. There we go.
Officially enter the building now.